Gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the Canton Township Board of Trustees regular board meeting on October 8th, 2024 at 6:01 PM. So I do not need to take roll call, is that correct? We can do the Pledge of Allegiance later at 7 o'clock. So can I have a motion to go into closed session?
Please go much slower.
Yeah.
Please do go.
You guys need to keep up.
New system.
I
New
am.
system.
Whole new system.
I'm on call to order right now, and
Oh.
you are 3 steps
Oh,
past.
I'm reading off of here. Okay, call to order.
No, I got it. I just have to go through the process of putting it into Civic Clerk.
Call to order.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance at 7 when everybody's here.
Okay. And we're doing roll call,
Yes.
and do we know if Diane Slavens is coming?
She is not.
She's not coming? No. So both Ganguly and Slavens are absent.
You guys will figure this out, but at some point, the board still might want to say hello to everyone, even if you're not doing roll call.
Want to
Like,
do that? Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
that doesn't matter
Yes.
functionally, but.
That's true.
Hello, everyone. I am the clerk, Michael
It's
Segrist.
just like, even though you're typing it in, you might still want to call people's names and stuff, but we don't have to do it tonight.
Because they want to say good evening.
Yeah, so.
Trustee
Or-
Borninski, would you like to say good evening?
Good evening.
Trustee Snyderman?
No, I don't want to.
Say good evening, Stephen.
Good evening, everyone.
Trustee Foster?
Good evening.
Trustee Supervisor Graham Hudek?
Good evening.
And good evening, everyone, from Clerk Segrist.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So-
Sorry, I'm trying to just, for those who are watching this recording, we are piloting brand-new software, which is going to make our lives substantially easier. Until we learn it, it's going to make our lives substantially more difficult
Just more fun.
and fun. And now I am through roll call, and I am through the, what was it called? Call to order. And
And we need a motion.
now we're ready for the motion to go into closed session, you said?
Yes.
Madam Supervisor, trying to find the motions.
Uh-oh, they left too early. Oh, Victor's still here.
Yeah, shouldn't it be attached?
So there's
to
no
that?
motion to go into closed session, and sometimes we need to specifically state why we're going into closed session. I know it's attorney-client privilege, so Madam Supervisor, I move to go into closed session for the purposes of discussing item that is exempt from state law, including written attorney-client privilege.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. All in favor, say aye, or do we need a roll call?
Roll call.
Oh, we had a,
Borninski said it.
title of this.
What?
I thought we had a title for this closed session.
You,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
happened
don't
to it.
see it, but
Not on the attachment. Okay.
anywho, yeah, I think we all get to vote on it, and so if I go to motion, I will start the vote.
Are you mean electronic
oh,
voting?
yep,
I thought we
there it
weren't
is.
doing that yet.
There it is.
Okay.
Do we still vote out loud?
Yeah, why not?
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Hang on, I gotta figure out how to vote yes.
Click yes.
Well, my view is different than yours, because I'm like an administrator too. Okay, I see it. Anne Marie, I don't see that did you vote yes, Anne Marie?
Oh, I have to save it. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay, all opposed, nay? Motion passes. So we will go into closed session and come back out afterwards to start the regular board meeting. Weird one. I thought we did.
populated minute snippets. Motion by blank, supported by blank. We'll work the kinks out. I gotta keep notes down for every issue. Oh, do we, have motion? Do we have spot for come out of closed session? Okay. No, it's not just me, it's that the software is not appropriately loaded. We have to vote to come back into closed session, and
Yes.
I can't, there's no spot on the agenda to vote to come back from closed session. So I'm writing down every functional issue we have with this software.
Can we hit
I can write it, but it's gonna mess with the minutes, and there's no, you can't use the voting tool, which is linked to the minutes. So like, instead of solving it now, I wanna fix the software so that it works for all future board meetings. Go ahead. Call for a motion?
Yes. Can I have a motion, please, to come back from closed session?
Madam Supervisor, I move to return from closed session.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. We need a roll call on this one.
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. That motion passes. Okay, can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Say
you.
that we did the pledge.
Okay. For the next motion. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
Madam Supervisor, I move to adopt the agenda, adding an add-on agenda item G0, which is consider approval of attorney recommendation in FOIA appeal number 24-866.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. So do we have any board or commission reports today? Trustee Foster?
Just briefly, I will mention that we've had 2 planning commission meetings since we last met. On September 16th, we did a master plan discussion. We also did ordinance revision discussions around tree preservation, non-conforming lots, and wireless telecommunications. And then we had another planning commission yesterday where we voted to move forward a public hearing on non-conforming lots, the zoning text amendment. We denied an application to paint the brick of Cava Restaurant, and we had some more master plan discussion in preparation for our joint planning commission township board meeting in about 10 days.
Any others? No? The Technology Committee also met last week. They are doing their 3rd annual apathon, and what they're doing is inviting K through 12 kids to create apps to help our nonprofits or charities. So if any nonprofits or charities would like to have an app created, maybe for them to keep track of goods or services coming in or payments or anything like that, please let us know. You can contact the supervisor's office, and then what we'll do is we'll go to the schools and we will ask the kids if they want to participate in this app writing, and so it's pretty cool. It's kind of giving it a real-world life of whatever they do.
Do you know the date of the apathon?
The apathon is going to be November 5th and 6th. I'm sorry, no, the weekend after, not that weekend. My God.
Yeah, wait a minute, that's election.
No,
The week after that.
9th and 10th or
Yes,
something like that?
yes.
8th and
I
9th?
got one thing.
Don't
have
take that away.
Can I make an update?
Yes.
I didn't. The Youth Advisory Council had their inaugural meeting this yesterday. They had an election of officers. I am unfamiliar with the results because I don't serve on the Youth Advisory Council or assist them. However, I have been working with the subcommittee of the board to integrate them into the board meetings. We will be doing a swearing in at the end of October. I believe it's the 22nd of October. And we will have a brief training for the individuals who will be identified to be the Youth Advisory Council liaisons to the board, who will at times sit in the back where you see Mr. Michael Shepard smiling, who is a resident of Canton Township. You also see Mr. Patrick Sloan, who is also a resident of Canton Township, both township employees. That's where the Youth Advisory Council, I believe, will be sitting, and they will be participating, and they will be speaking during this portion of the meeting. We talked about that, but we'll be doing a training before they are sat at their first board meeting, a little bit on Open Meetings Act, parliamentary procedure, roughly, so that they understand the basics of how the meeting is progressing and can follow along and participate when appropriate.
Very good. Thank you. Any other boards or commissions reports? All right, can I have an approval of the minutes from September 10th, 2024?
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Foster. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. If somebody wants to make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and payment of bills for September 25th and October 9th.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Foster. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, can I have a motion to, yep. Oh. Right. Yes. Can we have now public comment for agenda items only? I will look online to see who's online.
Oh, we skipped it. Yeah.
I don't have any attendees online for public comment. Does anyone in the room want to make public comments? 3 minutes for agenda items only. We have a general comment time at the end also. So any agenda item only comments? Seeing none. Okay, public comment closed. Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Madam Supervisor, I move that the board adopt the consent calendar as presented. Item C1, consider approval of application for MLCC special liquor license. Item C2, consider approval of a purchase order increase for the 2024 bus transportation services. Item C3, consider increase of a purchase order related to award of design for Heritage Park and Maintenance Facility with Wade Trim. Item C4, consider increasing purchase order for Ciparone, I apologize if that's your business, Contracting Incorporated for the 2024 Local Roads Improvement Program, concrete, my pronunciation. No, C5, consider awarding a contract and purchase order to replace the building automation system at Village Theater at Cherry Hill. Item C6, consider awarding a contract and purchase order to replace the 2 HVAC units for the public safety gun range. Item C7, consider awarding a contract and purchase order to replace the interior doors at Fellows Creek Golf Course. C8, consider awarding a contract and purchase order to replace 2 exterior doors at Fire Station Number 3. C9, consider awarding a contract and purchase order for interior and exterior renovations at Fire Station 3. And finally, item C10, consider awarding a contract and purchase order to replace the 5 HVAC units for Fire Station Number 3.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Berninski. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next is our general calendar. Item G0 we will start with. I have a motion for item G0, the general calendar of attorney recommendation and FOIA appeal 24866.
Madam Supervisor, I move to grant the appeal in part and deny the appeal in part, as recommended by Township Legal Counsel and indicated in the proposed letter, subject to final attorney review.
Support?
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you. Item G1, consider first reading of an amendment to Appendix A, zoning of the Code of Ordinances regarding Canton Corners Ford Road LLC conditional rezoning amendment. Sorry, we're getting used to a new software.
Yeah. Madam Supervisor, I move to introduce and hold the first reading of the First Amendment to the conditional rezoning agreement in the planning application number 54-RZ-8346, which retains the underlying C2 community commercial zoning and amends the conditions of the conditional rezoning previously approved in planning application number 54RZ080. As the proposal meets the standards of sections 27.07 and section 27.06D4 of the zoning ordinance. Period.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. The applicant proposes to amend a conditional rezoning on the west side of the parcel at 42911 to 42927 Ford Road, number parcel as listed, located on the south side of Ford Road and east of Morrison Boulevard, by removing the following two conditions of the existing C2 conditional rezoning statement of conditions that were adopted in 2007. A condition that prohibits left turns onto Morrison Boulevard, a condition that prohibits restaurants and food service in the building. In 2007, a .86 acre site on the west side of the subject parcel was rezoned to C2 with 6 conditions. The site was subsequently developed for a 4,600 square foot multi-tenant commercial outlot building, and all 6 conditions were met. However, there is currently not a sign that prohibits left turns onto Morrison Boulevard, and the Planning Services Division has allowed carry-out types of restaurants in the building, for example, Buddy's Pizza and Luca Pastry. The site was subsequently combined with the Canton Corner Shopping Center to the east, allowing for multiple points of access and shared parking throughout the site. The owner proposes a restaurant, Bird's Hot Chicken, in the subject building, which will be a standard sit-down restaurant. At its meeting on September 9th, 2024, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the application. Director Norwood, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything to add to this item, but I'm here to answer any questions. Also, Community Planner Patrick Sloan is also here to answer any questions.
Patrick, anything to add on this?
Nothing else to add other than what's in the report, but happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Summer, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Great. Any questions from the board?
Not about the model resolution, but it seems just in our new software, that'd be good to get probably a pointer to the model resolution, does it sound like, to be able to bring it up quickly?
Okay.
Just a lot of scrolling back and forth, and you used to be able to click on page 2 or the model resolution quickly, and then
Oh.
also be able to click back to your description, Madam Supervisor, as well.
Right.
So,
That's true. And it might be in here, we just don't know where it is.
yeah, it might be a function, just to note that, because it was on my mind here. Otherwise, I'm good.
Bookmarking.
All right, thank you. I think there is a function for that, but,
I
okay.
can, just briefly, and this is for Community Planner Patrick Sloan and Director Norwood. In August, we had amended the ordinance amendment plan that we don't need to do the tabling for consideration for a second reading. I do see that's in here, so I didn't read it. But then just for the future, I know a lot of times we use templates in the clerk's office. Might want to just update the template to have the one motion in the model resolution. But other than that, this seems reasonable.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item C2, consider special land use and site plan amendment to construct a canopy overhang for outdoor display and sales of papaya fruit market.
Okay. Madam Supervisor, I move that the board adopt the attached resolution for the approval of special land use and site plan amendment for papaya fruit market.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Brunensky. Papaya Fruit Market, which is located at 6463 North Canton Center Road in a multi-tenant commercial shopping center, proposes to construct a canopy overhang over the front of the entrance on the east side of the building for outdoor display and sales of produce and other items sold by Papaya Indoors. The shopping center is located at the northwest corner of North Canton Center Road and Hanford Road at 6427 through 6549 North Canton Center Road. Parcel number is listed. The site is Zone C2, and shopping centers are permitted in the C2 zoning district. Outdoor displays and sales are special land use in the C2 district, and the applicant requests special land use approval for outdoor display and sales under the proposed canopy. At its meeting on September 9, 2024, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the special land use and site plan amendment with conditions. Director Norwood, anything to add?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything to add, but Community Planner Patrick Sloan's here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Patrick, anything?
The only item I have to add is the plans are shown in the packet, and they're very nice renderings. And what's shown there and what's envisioned is similar to something that Bush's currently has, but on a much smaller scale based on the limitations of the land. So that's all I have to add, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Summer, anything to add?
Nothing to add, thank you.
All right, thank you. And we also have Michael Mackey, the owner of the plaza, here with us today for any questions. Anyone have any questions? Kate?
Just a comment. I just wanted to thank the Planning Commission for their thoughtful questions, because that really helped me reading their notes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Michael?
Well, I just think this is just a good use of planning. I think, the papaya fruit market has been pretty successful in that location. And I do know a lot of the neighbors and the patrons enjoy the opportunity, especially in the summer months, to spend time outdoors. And so I really do think that the canopy overhang will allow for a more permanent market that is safe and will really enhance that plaza and papaya, which is turning into a gem in that area.
Looks very nice, very crowded. When is the timing of its completion? Right now.
I see what you did there. That was well done.
Looks very nice. I look forward to it. There's a lot of fruits in there that are from around the world. Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Get the shovels out. Thank you. Item C. 3, consider approval to purchase dedicated hosting server from Civic Plus. Thanks.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve a purchase order for the dedicated hosting server in the amount of $6,971.92 from Civic Plus.
Or,
Motion made by Clerk Segris, supported by Trustee Snyderman. On July 26, 2022, the Board of Trustees approved RBA G7 for a contract increase for the registration software contract with Civic Rec. Over the past 7 years, Civic Rec, now known as Civic Plus Recreation Management, has been the sole provider for class registration, program and event creation, and room reservation for leisure services. As more and more of the registration process is done online, the need for expanded server capacities to process registrations, especially during the quarterly mass registration periods, is needed. Leisure Services and ITI staff met with Civic Plus representatives to discuss the issues and concerns residents have been experiencing when registering online. Civic Plus recommended Canton purchase its own dedicated hosting server through Civic Plus to accommodate Canton's heavy use. The prorated cost is $6,971.92 until the contracted renewal date on June 1st, 2025. Leisure Services will take a contract renewal with Civic Plus at a future board meeting in 2025. Director Hohenberger, you want to add anything?
This is certainly a needed piece for us as this last registration especially, we had a lot of folks that were bogged down in the registration process and not able to complete their transaction just because of the sheer volume of transactions that we're going through. We're one of their higher volume clients with Civic Plus. And it's a great problem to have because we're having so many folks that want to register for programs and services with us, but it does come with some side effects, and this is a cure for that problem.
All right,
And
thank you.
thanks to Director Begbu for his negotiations, as this was going to be about a $12,000 purchase, and he was able to convince them that they should do it for a lower fee.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments from anyone? Stephen?
yeah, sounds good. Just a question I had, maybe for Victor, although Greg, from the discussions, this is not a server we're taking on our premise, it's going to be hosted by them, it's just dedicated to us?
That's correct. It'll be a dedicated server on their premise, so we won't have any of the maintenance fees or any of those sorts of things. And it's also something that we're doing it. Our contract renews in July, so the timing is good. If we find that this does not provide us the level of service that we think and what they've told us it will, we're not obligated to renew. We could go back to a shared server in July if we don't see improvements.
Thanks.
Anyone else? When you go to the summit, you see a lot of the seniors lined up for a lot of classes, and they do have a difficult time. Like you said, they usually line up in the Canton 55 Plus to get help with registering for classes. So this will help with that. All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G4, consider approval of a purchase order increase in contingency for Cherry Hill Village Town Square Phase 1.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve a purchase order increase to OHM Advisors in the amount of $29,670, stated in the budget implications and account number section of the RBA, for additional engineering services and contingency for Cherry Hill Village Phase 1.
Or,
Motion made by Clerk Segers, supported by Trustee Snyderman. In March 2024, OHM Advisors provided Canton Township a proposal for professional engineering services for Phase 1 of the redevelopment of Cherry Hill Village. Through the development of the project, it was determined that additional engineering services for permit application for an extension of the water main is necessary to accommodate improvements on the triangle parcel located on Ridge Road to the north of Village Town Square project. OHM Advisors have provided a proposal for this additional engineering service in an amount of $2,000, which will be added to the purchase order. A further addition to the Village Town Square project purchase order will be for OHM to provide engineering services to design a customized vertical stage adjacent to the Cherry Hill School. OHM has provided a quote for these additional services in the amount of $23,800 and also to be added to the purchase order. The total cost of the water main permit and stage design is $25,800. Community Development is requesting an additional 15% contingency of $3,870 to the purchase order for future unanticipated considerations. The total requested increase to the PO is $29,670. Deputy Supervisor Joseph, do you have anything to add?
No, just that this is, obviously part of the Canton Town Square project in Cherry Hill Village. This particular purchase order increase being requested is, as executive summary states, for some work to be done to a water main close to the Triangle parcel, which is off of Ridge Road, and for the design of a stage adjacent to the Cherry Hill School. As part of the work that OHM will do, and obviously, designing the stage and working with our engineering department on the water permit, they'll also work with the Historic District Commission to make sure that the stage design blends well with the school, which will be in its background.
Any questions or comments? All right, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G5, consider approval to replace wireless access points.
Madam Supervisor, I move to waive the purchasing policy, RFP requirement, and approve the purchase of Cisco Meraki wireless access points for the replacement of end-of-life wireless access points throughout township-owned facilities.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. The ITI Department is requesting approval to upgrade and replace end-of-life wireless access points. ITI has wireless access points in various township facilities, many of which are end-of-line this year or will become end-of-line in the upcoming year. Replacing end-of-line access points, end-of-life, will keep ITI in compliance with current security standards while also providing improved service to those utilizing wireless infrastructure. Director Begbie, do you want to add anything? Okay, great. Any questions? Kate?
Just a comment. I just want to thank Victor and the ITI department for always making sure that our security is up to date and as strong as it can be in light of what happened with the Wayne County system just last week. So.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G6, consider award of contract to Fishbeck, Thompson, Carr and Huber Incorporated to perform environmental assessments.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the contract with Fishbeck, Thompson, Carr, and Huber Incorporated for environmental review services for 3 years with an optional 2-year extension if agreed upon by both parties. Don't get a
Can I have
second.
support, please?
Oh, support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Foster. Canton Township is in the process of constructing Fire Station 4 and performing ADA work at Victory Park. Funding for these projects is being provided by the Department of Housing and Urban Development and therefore requires an environmental review of the properties. Requests for proposals were issued in August, and 8 proposals were received and evaluated by the Finance Department and the Municipal Services Department. After this review, the recommended vendor is Fishbeck, Thompson, Carr, and Huber Incorporated. Let's see, I would say Director Trumbull is not here, but Mike Shepard, our Grants Department, is here, CDBG and Procurement Supervisor. Mike, do you want to add anything?
Good evening. Nothing to add, but here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions or comments? Kate?
Yes, this is to make sure we're in compliance with the law, is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G7, consider waiving the bidding process and approve the purchase of a new 2024 Vernier drill trailer mixing system and locating equipment.
Madam Supervisor, I move to waive the bidding process and award a purchase order to Vermeer Midwest in the amount of $199,413.45 for the purchase of a new 2024 Vermeer drill trailer, mixing system, and locating equipment.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. Our Public Works staff operates and maintains the township's 460 miles of water main, 360 miles of sanitary sewer, multiple hydrants, valves, and other apertures. In order to provide the necessary level of service, large construction equipment is necessary. As the township continues to build out, this directional drill will allow for more effective and safe installation of new water services. The new 2024 Vermeer directional is to be purchased from Vermeer Midwest using Sourcewell contract number as listed. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Michael?
The Sourcewell contract, that's like a bidding
The collaboration, yeah.
collaboration that we enter into for,
Other communities use it, yeah.
so that's why we're
That's a
going to
good
use
pricing,
that as
yeah.
opposed to going through the RFP process or whatever, or the bidding process or whatever.
Correct, that is
Okay.
correct, yeah.
That makes sense.
All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G8, consider authorization of a purchase order to Spalding DeDecker and Associates for professional engineering services, design and construction for the 2025 Local Road Improvement Program.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve a budget amendment to approve a purchase order contract for the 2025 Local Road Improvement Program to Spalding DeDecker Associates Incorporated in the amount of $433,913.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. In 2018, Canton Township passed a road millage and retained Spalding DeDecker through a competitive bidding process to handle the local road improvement program. Spalding DeDecker also serves as the program consultant. Canton Township has now successfully completed multiple years of the local road improvement program with Spalding DeDecker, and based on their performance, Engineering Services recommends retaining Spalding DeDecker for design and construction engineering services for the 2025 local road program. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Just, we're looking forward to next year's project, so this is a very successful program in the township.
How many local projects are we looking to do next year?
I believe it's 14.
Okay. Great job. Thank you.
But we will be doing some ASR work too, on top of this too, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of work going on next year, yes.
Lots of
More
work.
ASR.
Yeah, I can just, speaking to the relationship we have with Spalding DeDecker, they were the first firm that we engaged in starting this process. They did the initial PACER rating of all of the township, indicating the health or lack thereof of our entire road network, and have been helping us lay out the most efficient way to tackle that road network, given the designated roads millage, and then on top of that, the funding that we've gotten from the county, from the state, and from the federal government. And I just think when you look at it, it is interesting. The proof is in the pudding in two ways. I think prior to the local roads millage, we received a substantial amount of calls in Canton Township about the state of the roads. And the answer during that period of time was, oh, it's a county issue. After the roads millage, we got a lot of calls, which is, why am I paying all these taxes and my roads are awful? Which was a very common call. Is interesting enough is that we don't get those phone calls the extent anymore that we used to. And when you compare the PACER rating in Canton Township to the PACER rating in neighboring communities, it's abundantly clear why. Because in a very short period of time, Canton Township has the best roads in western Wayne County. And if you would have told me I would be saying that in 2017, I would have laughed at you, called you a liar. And I think in large part, it's by this relationship with Spalding and Decker that we've been able to do that. Obviously, I don't want to take anything away from municipal services or from the engineering department, but it's been smart to strategically tackle the problem of our road network in a way that isn't the squeaky wheel gets the grease, because typically, right around February or March, when the first thaw comes in, everyone wants to throw every dollar we have at potholes. And, we would be burning that money. We may as well put it out in a barrel and burn it at that point, because it would just wash right out. Instead, we've been strategic and tackling really, really bad roads and crack sealing roads that are in decent shape to keep them in the best shape. So I just am really impressed by this proposal. And I think it's wise to keep them and to keep this relationship going as long as we keep getting the value that we are.
Anyone else?
I would just ask that, not on this specific item, but are we communicating the results of the roads programs to the community, either through the Focus or website or social media or something like that?
Yes to all.
Yes, to all, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it would be good, as the clerk mentioned, our ratings have gone way up faster than we even expected when we started this, so.
Yeah, it's been highly successful.
Okay,
We're also doing a ribbon cutting on the ASR sunflower.
right,
Fixing it.
right.
So that's
Yep.
coming up.
I think October 23rd, yeah.
What is it?
I think it's October 23rd.
October 23rd? Okay. Yes.
To Trustee Snyderman's point, we still have the page on the website dedicated to the roads program, where you can see a map where all of the construction has been done. It's pretty cool to see all of the colors, yeah.
Great.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G9, consider approval for the temporary addition of one full-time Tech 4 position for the Facilities Services Department.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the temporary addition of one full-time Tech 4 position for the Facilities Service Department.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. The Facility Services Department is seeking to add one full-time Tech 4 position that will work in the evenings in order to be staffed appropriately. Since January 2024, the facilities maintenance staff is operating short-staffed due to multiple short-term disability and long-term disability leaves. If the individual that is currently on long-term disability is able to return to work, we will not displace the newly added Tech 4 position. We will retain the Tech 4 and use that position to fill the next Tech 4 vacancy. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I would just like to thank the HR, Rochelle Howell, and also the finance team for help us put this together. This doesn't happen in many organizations where we can make sure we get the services we need to provide to residents and the facilities when people are having health issues. So we're able to keep the staff at the right level. So this has been a good process.
Thank you. Kate, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I have a question. Are you anticipating that a Tech 4 position will open up?
Yes, we are, yes.
Okay. That answers my question. Thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, now we are done with the general calendar. We will go into additional public comments. Let me check online to see if anyone is online for public comments. So if you want to do a public comment online, you can raise your hand electronically, and I will call on you. So the public comment time is 3 minutes. And let me see, anyone want to raise their hand online? Okay, I don't see anyone online. All right. Anyone in the room, public comment? Would you like to go up to the podium and do public comment? Please approach the podium. For 3 minutes, please state your name.
My name is Michael Schultz, 44580 Dion Street. I'm hoping in this election we can have a little bit of change. I've been very disappointed with this administration. Public comment used to be done in the beginning. I don't like staying up late. Like I said, the waste of the money that goes on here, I'm not real happy with. I went to pay my taxes, and of course, there's a customary administration fee. You know, I don't know why it takes millions of dollars, and that's what you guys gather on those fees. For what? All my other properties, none of them charge a fee. And I know, oh, it's only $50, only $20. Well, when you add the amount of people that are here, and I don't know what the businesses get clipped for, but if you add it up, it's millions of dollars. And there's money that could be spent in better ways. Thank you.
Anyone else, public comment? Please go to the podium.
Yeah, my name is James Aaron. I live at 2178 Fairway Circle in Canton. And I've been a resident here for 27 years. And for most of it, we had two different administrators or whatever the supervisors, and they were able to do the job on their own. So now we have a new administrator, and I understand you hired a helper to do your job. Is that true?
This is your time for public comment, sir.
Oh, you don't answer questions?
You can.
Okay, well, I understand that we're spending an extra $170,000 a year to do the supervisor job. And I don't think that's right. If you run for this job, you should be able to do the job, not hire someone else to do it for you. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Please go to the podium.
Hi, my name's George Cordy. I'm going to have two hats on tonight. I live at 40465 Bay Harbor Lane. That's Links at Fellows Creek Condo Association. First, as a co-owner, the question I have is who's responsible for removing brush or weeds along Lots Road, especially right by our condo? It's actually just south of the condo where the houses are, on the west side of the road. Somebody, I don't know if it was the county or Canton that came through and cut, but they didn't trim the weeds. And when I ride my bike, I was told there was going to be a 5-foot bike lane there, which never happened. But regardless, it's hard for me to bike along Lots Road from where I start at the condo all the way to Michigan Avenue. The other spot was out right in front of the golf course, links right where the ditch is in the parking lot. I mean, I have to sometimes move out of the way. The weeds are over out onto the bike path if I don't know who's responsible for that. So I'd like to find that out, or if somebody could take care of that. Mm-hmm. Also on the golf course, hole number 8, who trims the trees? Is that the city, Canton Township's responsibility or the golf course? There's trees on the golf course links that need to be trimmed, and we've had some co-owners request, and I happened to walk over there yesterday to look at them, and I noticed on hole A2 there are some trees there, and I'm just wondering if that's a Canton Township thing or who that is. And then also along a property along Lots in Lotsford, the grass is like knee high. It's been that way for like 2-3 months. When I ride my bike on there, it's right on the corner. There used to be, I think, an apartment or hotel or something. It's all been demoed. It hasn't been touched probably in 2-3 months. I would imagine, or you got an ordinance officer or somebody to send that owner something to clean up. Last, the main big pet peeve I guess I got is priority waste regarding Links and Fellows Creek condo. This is my second hat. I'm also the board of director president on the Links of Fellows Creek Condo Association. Since we received our containers, we haven't seen a new truck once yet. So it's been 6, 7, 8 weeks. We've had one truck that comes with somebody behind it, always. And not only that, but what we did is we passed a very strong trash policy that you're supposed to put everything in the garbage, the blue container. Well, that's not happening. People are leaving stuff out, and priority waste is picking it up. I've called Director Norwood's office twice. I talked to 2 women there, and they said, well, contact priority. We'll make a note of it, or we'll let them know, but priority never, well, after a half hour, I just give up. And I
Thank
thought,
you.
well, tonight, I'd probably come up here and say something.
Thank you, sir.
And just see if you can make a call, or somebody make a call to priority. I have pictures I
you.
want to show you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
And if
time.
you wait, we can talk to you after the meeting.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay.
Hello again. I'm not a Canton resident, but I am running for the 25th district. I'm the Republican candidate for the 25th district house, which is about the bottom fourth of Canton, I believe. But I just wanted to reintroduce myself. I'm Josh Powell. I grew up in Missouri, but I moved to Michigan in 2010. I did 6 years in the Army as a military police officer. I got my degree in information technology and currently work in the automotive industry. I am back in law school now as well. But I saw an opportunity to run for the seat because I believe we need some balance back in Lansing, and so that's what I'm here for. So I'll be around after if you guys want to discuss anything.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Miller?
I'd like to address this issue on this radioactive waste coming from New York. Eagle is the problem. Corps of Engineers. September of 23, I get letters. The city of Romulus was told the facility, their deep well injection they're referring to, would never accept hazardous waste prior to the transfer of the existing license to Republic. From the city of Romulus was advised that the new owner would only use for the facility management of landfill leachate from their landfills it owns. Leachate, with that dump over there, I've talked to the state on this hazardous waste material. That was an old dump that started in the 50s and 60s. It did not have a liner. They built a hazardous waste dump on top of it. That's wrong. There's laws to that effect, just like I've complained about Waste Management's dump over there on Hannon Road. They've capped it 25 foot high for the last 1980 I was out here, that was level with Hannon Road. It flooded over there, and there was no pond to catch the runoff, none. Ford parks their vehicles, let them face forward. They parked their vehicles from the assembly plant. I'm glad you're opposing this. These people come in and they get a facility, this hazardous waste facility. It's for chemicals, not for radioactive waste. That stuff evidently, according to the paper, has been up there 75 and 80 years. Why didn't they make a shift somewhere else? Now they can. And it must be like the Ohio derailment. A tanker truck for gasoline is only 10,000. There must be 50 or 100,000 yards of dirt in it per tank load. So I'd like to know what the plan is here, if you have one, to face this issue. Low radioactive, radioactive. It's not, I'd like to know if they're certified for that. According to Wayne Disposal, they've been doing it for years. They've never met with the local people, which they're supposed to. And if they've been handling it for years, and I'd like to see their license for that. Yeah. One other thing here, the gentleman spoke on ordinance, things that you can go through the township, fences are down, whatever it may be, for months on end. They drive around, and it's still down. I'd like to know what the problem is some of the fences, or wood fences are still laying down after years. Why the issue's not, they get around town, the ordinance people do. Why isn't it taken care of when they see it?
Thank you. Anyone else in the room? Okay. So next on the agenda, we have administrative comments. And if you want to answer to some of what you've heard, we'll start with Victor. Do you have anything? No. Greg? So Greg, you're the golf course guy, so.
I already sent an email on the golf course stuff to Fells Creek Management to get some answers on hole number 8.
Thank you. Chief Chad?
Some of the ordinance issues we'll address with command staff. I have an 8 o'clock meeting in the morning.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Some of the ordinance issues that were mentioned tonight in public comment, I'll mention to our staff and our command staff at our meeting tomorrow morning at 8.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Norwood?
We'll definitely talk about priority ways. I'm interested. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe, do you have anything to add?
Just to Mr. Miller's comment about what the township's doing to prevent radioactive waste from being dumped at Wayne Disposal, largely due to the leadership of the township supervisor, Emery Graham Hudak, and the board of trustees as a whole. We were able to get a restraining order against Wayne Disposal from accepting radioactive waste, T-norm, from the site in Lewiston, New York, which is where a lot of the nuclear waste from the Manhattan Project is stored and scheduled to be shipped to Van Buren Township. The restraining order is in place until we have a hearing on the matter. The hearing on the matter was originally scheduled to take place tomorrow. That's been adjourned for a week. And so the restraining order will remain in place for another week until the judge hears arguments, both from the coalition of plaintiffs, which includes Canton Township, Van Buren Township, Belleville, Romulus, and now Wayne County. Wayne County's recently joined the lawsuit, and Wayne Disposal as well. So a week from today, there'll be an evidentiary hearing where the judge will review the evidence and then make a decision as to whether or not to issue a temporary injunction, which would enjoin Wayne Disposal from accepting radioactive waste at its Van Buren Township site. So that's kind of the state of the case at the moment.
Thank you. Okay, now some board comments. So basically, Mr. Norwood can help with some of the brush, and then Director Hohenberger can help with golf course issues. And you can speak to them after if you want local areas. Thank you. Kate, do you have anything?
Yes. So over the weekend, several communities, including Canton, had some hate language that was dropped off in various neighborhoods and subdivisions. And I just want to remind everyone of part of what we as a board passed in a resolution last December. And the part I would like to read to you is this. Finally resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Canton affirms our collective duty to lead in our community with the values of peace, justice, and compassion. The board reminds the community of our goal of being a welcoming community as hate has no home here, and that in 2014, the Canton Township Equal Rights Ordinance was passed and then updated in 2022 to ensure each and every resident of our township have the same benefits of safety and non-discrimination as anyone else. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kate. That's good to remind us all. On a lighter note, I want to wish our boys who play under the English D good luck in the continued pursuit of winning another championship, the first one in 40 years. Go Tigers. So.
Thank you. Summer?
Yes, definitely go Tigers. It's been a while since we've played a game in October. Kate, thank you very much for what you said. You know, I was disappointed to see the flyers that were left in various places in Canton over the weekend that were found on Monday. And I just wanted to say to Chief Baugh and Supervisor Graham Hudak, thank you for addressing the matter so quickly and for the comments that you made to reassure the community that this is a welcoming community. One of the things that I hear from people that live here, that work here, that bring their kids into our community, that the thing that they love is the diversity of this community. And I think that we have done a lot of work to not only highlight the diversity, but also to foster inclusion. And I think that part of the equation sometimes is under political attack, the inclusion part. And so I think it's important that we commit to doing the work to making sure that our community is not only diverse, that we are not creating an environment where we're bringing a lot of people from a lot of different communities here, but we make sure to recognize and celebrate each person from each community.
Thank you, Summer. Michael?
So I'll start with voting stuff, because, you know, that's my thing. The election is in full swing. It started on really 45 days before the election when we mailed out ballots to the military and overseas voters. They have federal protections, and they get those ballots a little bit earlier than everybody else. If you want your ballot earlier, you got to sign up and serve your country. Other absentee voters were able to get an absentee ballot 40 days before an election, so that's September 26. And we mailed out about 24,000 of them. Pretty sizable amount. In the last week and a half, we have issued an additional 2,000 absentee ballots, so we're at about 26,000 out. We've got about 5,000 of them back. That represents about 6% of the registered voters in Canton Township. That's 20% of the ballots that we've mailed out have been returned. So people are voting, and they're voting as we speak. Now, this is our first year doing early in-person voting. Sorry, I aggressively said that. Early in-person voting is cool because you get all the convenience of voting an absentee ballot, but you get to put your own ballot in the tabulator yourself. You show up, show the ID, you put the ballot in the tabulator, and you get the really cool I voted sticker, and you get to see it cast. It's a really cool experience, but you don't have to do it on a Tuesday. You can do it on a Monday, you can do it on a Sunday, you can do it on a Saturday. We're doing 14 days of early voting. So we're going to start early voting on October 21st. Our two early voting sites are the Summit on the Park and the Village Arts Factory. So we've got that information up on our website. We are having an early voting party kickoff. We're going to do evening hours. Our normal hours are 8:30 to 4:30, but we'll be open till 7 o'clock on the 21st. And there'll be some fun stuff going on. We're also going to have a mobile Secretary of State's office that can be registering voters, because that same day is the last day that you can do what we call easy voter registration, which is registering at a Secretary of State branch office, or registering by mail, or registering online. Any day after that, so from the 22nd to Election Day, you have to, if you want to vote in this November 5th election, you have to show up to my office, and you have to have proof of ID and proof of residency. But we'll register you and you can vote in the election. But that's a little bit more difficult. So we're going to have that party on the 21st for early voting, and we'll do 14 days of early voting at those two sites, and then that will finally reach a crescendo on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, November 5th. And that's where voting will occur, and that we will open the polls at 7 a.m., just like we have for a very long time, and close them at 8 p.m. So that's pretty cool. We are, and we're just kind of working away on that, and we've got a lot going on. We're doing a lot of training of election workers, and we're looking pretty staffed for that. So my office, the work started a couple weeks ago, pretty aggressively. This is our 5th election this year. Thanks to that race, I think, over there was a special election in that district. So we've had 5 elections this year. It's the first time in Canton history we've had this many elections in one calendar year. So they're really running us like a prize racehorse, but we're having fun. On top of that, I just want to reiterate the comments of 2 of my colleagues. I assume the supervisor will comment on this as well. One, I want to thank both Chief Baugh for kind of always representing our community's values, both public safety, making sure everyone feels safe, while at the same time inclusion, making sure everyone feels safe. And I think you do a unique job of doing that. I haven't seen done by other individuals. And then Supervisor Graham Hudak, your work with the interfaith community over the years, I think puts you in a spot where you can speak to these issues extremely well. And I'm really appreciative of that, because I got to tell you, I'm very proud to live in Canton Township. I've been very proud to live in Canton Township for a long time. And it's independent of the elections and who's the elected officials and all that stuff. Obviously, I like being clerk. But this is a good community. It's a community that takes care of each other. We take care of ourselves. We work really hard. We step up for each other. And when you see racially motivated and religiously motivated bigotry, it's usually in other communities. And that disgusts me when I see that. I like living in Canton Township because we don't usually see this kind of stuff here. But it made its way here. It made its way here this last week. I hope we take a strong stand about this. I hope the individuals who did this know that I think they're pathetic. I really do. I think that there is no place for them here in Canton Township. I think if you don't welcome everybody here, you don't belong here. And, this is a community that is a very special place because of our diversity. But also, you can't tell the Canton story without telling the story of immigration, right? Like, the neighborhoods that were built here were built around immigration, and that's immigration from all across the world. When you have a diverse society like this, sometimes you do have tensions and things like that. And so there's a natural kind of uncomfortability that happens when not everybody worships the same God, looks the same way, talks the same way. But that's not what this is. This is bigotry, and there's no place for it. And I hope we as a community shut it down. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Well said. Exactly. Exactly. Well said, board. Very good. I'll just start out with something that was said to me in public comment. I just want to let the community know that I work 60-plus hours a week, 7 days a week. I've been doing that for 4 years. And anyone who says different is disingenuous at best. Now, going on to the toxic waste. Talking about the toxic waste, as Deputy Supervisor said for the toxic waste, the hearing's been moved to October 16th. And so October 16th is when we will hear about the order to not transport any more toxic waste happens. And so hopefully we will stand by the residents and stand by our community and stop that. In terms of, so you heard about the brush and who you can speak to for the golf course. But what the board has said is true. I mean, there are factors out there that are trying to divide our community. And we are a welcoming community. That is one of our pillars. And there are factions that are trying to destroy that. And you can see it also happen in Farmington Hills, West Bloomfield, White Lake. I believe Plymouth got some also, Northville. And they were indiscriminately handed out. And we won't stand for that. We won't stand for anyone coming into our community trying to divide our cultures or faiths. And you heard our human rights ordinance over there. You heard some of the board members speak on how important that we stand together, and we're going to continue to do so. And if anyone has any questions about that or anyone has any issues with that, please come see us. I also want to give you some of the things that happened that are happening this weekend. So we had the Trick or Treat Story Trail. That was a lot of fun. We had 800 trick-or-treaters there. This Saturday, we're going to be having the Canton Fire Department open house for kids at Fire Station 1 at 11 o'clock on Saturday. And then at 7 o'clock, we're having PJs and Pumpkin Indoor Movie Night. And then Cherry Hill Village Monster Mash, a big dance for those 21 and over. So we hope to see some of you there, and we will have a great time. So with that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Move we adjourn.
I support that.
Motion made by Trustee Snyderman, supported by Trustee Foster. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.